Okay, I think everything is going as expected. Hello, everybody. Terrence here, aka OdatNurd. Welcome back to live stream the second in my scheduled live stream. So I will be working on package development in Sublime Text, and as per last week, I'm going to continue working on my Hyperhelp package a little bit. I actually have one thing that I want to do, but it has one, two, three, four, five different steps, and let's see how well that all goes. If you are new to the live stream, welcome. This is a completely more or less undirected live stream where I am just working on package development, and I have not really planned out anything that I'm going to do, so anything could happen. It's just as likely to see me implement a feature as see me struggle around and eventually throw my hands up in despair and throw a thing away as something that's not possible, or at least not possible to do. Um, if you like these sorts of long live stream videos, you should perhaps subscribe to this channel. This is my personal channel. This is where I'm doing all of my live streams. There should be a link down in the description for that. If you prefer a more targeted video approach, I have another channel. My main channel is the OdatNurd channel, which is also focused on Sublime Text and Sublime Text package development. But the videos there are more planned and less freeform than these. You go ahead and go down in the description area and throw a subscription on that. And heck, it's a small internet like both of them. And subscribe to both of them. I'm cool with that. And just before we get rolling here, this is going to be like last week. I have a 2-hour timer that I haven't started yet. That is the, if you will, quote unquote, minimum amount of time that I'm going to be going. If you watched the last one or you watched it in the archive once it was done, then you'll know that um, I actually went quite a bit longer than that because I was having a weird problem, which, in playback, I totally resolved uh, right away. I knew what it was, and then I ignored my own advice and went down a whole rabbit hole. It was a whole big thing. So I'm gonna do that again tonight. Hopefully not that rabbit hole part, and we'll see where we go from there. And as a heads up, the plan is for the remainder of October, I'm going to be doing a regular Sunday live stream at about this time. In November, I want to transition up into 2 streams a week. Those ones would also be 2-hour streams, real life notwithstanding. Those would be on tentatively Sundays and Wednesdays every week. And that is leading into December, where I am kicking up the schedule a notch and taking it to 1 live stream per day. But those have a minimum time of only 1 hour instead of 2 hours. And those will be part of my Devember project for this year. And if you are not familiar with Devember, I'll be talking about that more later. And what else do I have to say? If you like these, subscribe, thumbs up, yada, yada, yada. If you're watching this live and you have questions about what I'm doing or why I'm doing something, or just questions in general that you'd like answered, you can drop into the chat, pop up, say hi, ask a question. If you're watching this in the archive after it's done, feel free to do the same thing, only you're going to have to do that, of course, in the description area underneath the video instead of in the live chat, because it won't be live anymore. And with that, I think we're probably ready to kick this thing off. What do you say? So the plan for this evening, I guess I can give this the focus, is to work on my help package here, a little bit more Hyperhelp. And in particular, I'm working on the logic for anchors. Uh, the fan in the server under the desk just kicked up a notch. So hopefully that's not coming through on the mic. It doesn't seem to be, but I apologize for that. The fan in that machine is going a little doolally. I'm going to have to tear it apart and throw some new parts in there. I have completely lost my train of thought. Um, So I have actual, while I was in my morning walk this morning, I had plans for what I want to do and what steps I think overall I need to take to do it. Same proviso as last week. I'm going to go ahead and start the timer now for the 2 hours. In that, uh, I haven't looked at the code that I'm looking at here in a while, so I'm not 100% sure that I'm remembering the way it works properly. So this could be exciting. The issue that we're resolving is this. If we look here in a help file, these items that have asterisks on either side of them, if I do the scope, you can see they are meta.anchor. Those are anchors. Those are places where links can go to and target. These, of course, being links. I may have gone over this in the last video. So that's an anchor. That's an anchor. Also, this text list input handler is also an anchor, but its markup is different, and so it's hidden behind the scenes. Now, Hyperhelp as a concept started off as being just a help system that was going to be built into my override audit package. And so I had a very simplistic idea of there would be spots in the documentation that you would want to link to, and there would be an anchor that would link to that spot. And there wasn't a lot of going around in the background. As a matter of fact, originally help files were just going to be single file files, and then it slowly grew into being multiple files. And now it's reached to the point where not only are there multiple files, but each package can contain help, and a package can contain help for more than one package. An example of that I think I went over last time. If we go over here into the sidebar, Snappy has help for the Sublime Text API, build systems, color, and color schemes. Um, all in one package, but some limitations from that original version way back when still exist, and that is this. This is help index. Every help package needs to have one of these, and simplistically, it gives you the name of the file, the name of the help, the title of that document, which is also sort of visualized up in that part there, but in a different way. And then zero or more of these, which specify help topics, help the topic itself being something you can link to, and the caption being a caption text in a hover thing. And as a matter of fact, I think if I do this and go here, we can see this is the link example plugins, which we see there. And if I hover the mouse over it, the uppercase example plugins there is coming from here. And this link knows that it links to the file general.txt. Now, this is a very simplistic system, and how it works is when I click this link with the double click it or hit enter on the keyboard, what it's doing is behind the scenes grabbing the text that matches this scope meta.link. That's currently the text types. Then it goes into this index and finds the one topic that has the text types. And from that, it can infer the file that it is supposed to open. Once it opens that file, it scans through to find the appropriate anchor that matches the help topic, again, types, and focuses it there using that method that you saw me fixing in the last live stream, if you watched it. And that's how that works. Now, realistically, up until this point, I've been pretty happy with how this works, but there is a problem with it, and that is that, well, it's a twofold problem that also involves links, but that's going to be the subject for another day, unless tonight goes absolutely swimmingly, and I don't think it will. And that is this. This help topic here currently has to exactly match the anchor here. Or I guess if we wanted to see one that was, visualized with the syntax highlighting here. This is the anchor. This is the actual topic, general.txt. That appears here. This is an implicit topic if there isn't one specified. You can always link to a help file by using its name as the help topic. The text in the anchor and the topic that it associates with are always a one-to-one mapping. And that means that since in this help file, it needs to be able to look up the topic to know what file to open and where to scan to in that file, that help topics have to be unique throughout the entirety of all of the help files in a single help package. So here in this help for the Sublime API, there can only be one anchor named index.txt or one help topic named index.txt, and there can only be one anchor that is addressable via links by that name. And for the most part, that is no problem whatsoever, but it does have obvious implications, and one of those is something I ran into when I was adding the help for Sublime theme items to Snappy, and that is that because the topic itself has to be unique and the anchor is itself the topic, you can't do something like document two properties that exist on the same class without modifying the anchor somehow. Now we can see an example of that here. If I do run command, there are actually three topics in this help system with for run command. That one, and that one on the window class, on the text command class, and on the Sublime module as a whole. If I just wanted the index to say run command, that wouldn't work because it wouldn't know which one of those three to go to. Fortunately, the help lays it out in this way, and it makes a lot of logical sense in this case to see the anchor, so that works fine. In that theme documentation, that was not the case at all. And what I actually found was there were properties like font size that appeared in multiple places in the document. There's no way to implement that. Now, one thing I could do is make this more HTML-like and allow links to address not only a help topic, but also a file, and then help topics and anchors could be unique per file. But I really like the idea of anchors being unique across the entirety of the package and just decoupling so that just because this text says sublime.run command, that doesn't mean that's the topic that's associated with it. So we want to add an extra functionality to this help thing so that when you specify anchors in your file, where you can specify what help topic they are and the text. And then that way there can be multiple anchors that visually look the same, but they reference different things. The follow-up on that is that similarly, this link goes to application command, and it can only go to application command. If you want to link to something, you have to have a topic because there's no way to specify link text. That's going to be a similar thing to what we're doing tonight, but I don't think I'm going to get a chance to do that. And what I need to do is change this in a way that doesn't break all of the existing logic. So in order to do that, how I would do this normally is step through that in a logical progression. And one of those things, and maybe I don't want a help file that is nearly this busy to do something like this. So let's say I browse available help to the user package. Oh, no, that's not going to work. Let's say I browse available help for Hyperhelp author because I know that that's a stub. So this is the entirety of all of the help for Hyperhelp authoring tools. And if I was to open the console and say view.settings.get_hhnav, and I think we saw this in a previous video, but this one will be smaller. In this file, there is the setting called hhnav, which is a list of lists. One list item is this here, and it says that the anchor index.txt is in this file, starting at position 1 and going up to position 10, which you may recognize as a region, and that is it up there in the file. So two things can happen with this setting. One, when I push tab, the cursor jumps between anchors, and it does that by pulling out this setting and iterating this through this list to find the entry that is just before or just after wherever the current cursor location is. and then it focuses it using that command that we saw in the previous video. Secondly, what I just did there, when I navigated to that help topic, it invoked an API function in the help system that knew that it needed to open this file, and then it needed to find where in the file that anchor is so that it can provide that highlight that we see at the top of the file right now in the selection. And to do that, it has to iterate through this list until it finds the entry with the topic that matches. So one thing we have to do is maintain the ability to follow links and also to tab through them. This is implemented as a list of lists because these anchors positions needed to be sequential in the file and in top-down ordering so that you can tab through them. The downside to that is that when you follow an anchor, it has to do a linear search to find the appropriate one in the array, which is slow. A dictionary would be better, but there's no way to have an ordered dictionary. So we're going to solve all of those problems, and that was a rather long description of what we're doing, but I think it's important, even for myself, to actually explain what it is that I'm trying to do to myself, although I may not say it out loud. So it's probably a good idea to explain that to people watching the video as well. So first thing on the list is to change how this setting object works. And I'm going to close the syntax because I don't need it. This has nothing to do with loading a help index. I'm pretty sure there's not an event handler involved. Help.py is the file that I want. And as a matter of fact, that's actually focused. Oh, let's do the thing that I normally do where I create a window with a giant console, make it always on top, and scoot it onto the other desktop so that it is always available. So we saw me working on post-process links. The code to modify here is this one, and I'm already kind of sad about how this doesn't quite look the way I expected it to look. Basically, the idea of this, and again, we're going to have to let's jump back over to here, and then, I don't know, go into the View API. See, if I did that same thing I did before, there's a lot of things in here now, right? One of the anchors that is in here is this hidden anchor. Oops, turned on caps lock. Here. This is actually in the document, the source help document, as an anchor that's marked up specially. And so once the help file is loaded, post-process anchors is called to find all of the hidden anchors and rewrite them in the document so that they don't have the markup around them anymore, but it still maintains the position that those anchors were in so that it can create this. And even though it has to do that for hidden anchors, it also stores all the information for regular anchors, yeah, as well. And I believe, yeah, we'll see that here. So I'm going to close that console now. So this top part is finding all of the hidden anchors and then iterating through them from the bottom up, rewriting them. And the reason why this 4 appears in here is because of the way hidden anchors. Actually, I might need to look at the help file while I'm doing this. So what are we looking at here? View.txt. That's what a hidden anchor looks like here. So it's got to remove 1, 2, 3, 4 characters there. So that's why that's 4 times that. And we also have to make some adjustments for, they all move backward as we process them. So the ones closer to the bottom of the document move more. It took me a while to actually figure that out, which is kind of making me nervous for the purposes of this live stream right now. So how are we actually doing this? see, iterate the regions. For each region in the list of regions, we get the actual anchor text, find the adjusted position as a region by subtracting the adjust value, -2 for that one and -2 for that one. Yeah, this may require extra action, and we're going to append that to the list or invert that list at some point. Oh, I sort them by position. Ah. The list of hidden anchors plus the list of regular anchors sorted into positions in the buffer. This is a tricky kettle of fish right here. That's what this is. It needs to grab not only the hidden anchors, but the regular anchors as well. The first item on the list of things to do is to change that. So what is the best way to go about this? Could find all. Hey, I wonder, could I? Let's maybe gin up a little test, if you will. I want to add it. No, let's do this. Switch to the user help, and we'll just do something. My user help has a list of all of the commands in Sublime. Add a help file, and the help file will be named test.txt. Test. Save it. I betcha I also need to edit the index and add a help file. What did I name it? Test.txt. Oh, sorry, I got that part. Test help file, and reload that. I can close that and do that. So there's the help file loaded. We'll move this down here so we can see this part and that part. Oh no, I guess I actually need to see it unedited. So here's the raw version. So we could say, let's throw a couple of lorms in here. Whoa, that's too many. Star anchor 1. We'll throw one in here just to see. And here, I'm just randomly picking some, and we'll put one here and one here. And then we'll make that one a hidden anchor, and that one a hidden anchor. So that goes hidden, regular, hidden. Now it goes regular, hidden, regular. That seems like it's got some nice interleave. And save. Now, that's backed on disk. View.find by selector meta.anchor should find all of them, I would imagine. Yeah. I'm actually gonna do this. In this window, so I was gonna say X is find all of the anchors, then view dot, wow, I can't type, add regions, and the key is going to be test. The regions are going to be X, the scope, wow, let's just say, let's see what that does. And what sort of optional flags? I guess we don't want them to be hidden. We don't want it to be persistent. I assume it's just going to draw outlines. So let's just do that. That should outline all of the anchors in. Oh, okay. Draw no fill. Okay, I did want that. That's a little busy. It's neither here nor there. It just makes it look nicer. Whoops. Oh, whoops. Yeah. The next thing is icons. What's that thing actually called? Flags? Yeah. That'll make sense. There we go. Flags is that. Okay. Let's squinch that down. So there's a list of all of the anchors that are currently in the file regioned. Oh, you know what? Maybe I should oh, I don't have a scope for that? Are they both punctuation anchor begin? That's an unfortunate turn of events right there. I guess they didn't need a special scope because they weren't supposed to be visible anyway, so what's the point in having syntax highlighting for them, except that it would be handy right now. I think, well, maybe we should fix that. Oh, good Lord. There we go. Where is the hidden anchor is that. So anchor dot, let's say hidden dot begin and hidden dot end. Incidentally, if you watched that first live stream recording, you probably saw me being an idiot about my comment scopes, where I had the begin as the end and the end as the begin. I saw that after the fact and fixed it. It made me sad. Okay, now I can do that. Punctuation anchor dot hidden. Good, good, good. So here's the point of all of this testing. As we can see, there are regions in the file visually marked off using add regions for the place where all of the content of all of the anchors is. If I said y equals view dot find by selector and used punctuation dot anchor dot hidden, I should end up with what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if I said what? View, oh, yeah, I can't do that, can I? I need to be in a text command. Dang. Do I want to test command this with a... Oh, good Lord. Yeah, let's make a test command. That'll do. Well, we'll call it example, whatever. And if we're going to do that, we might as well do the whole thing that way. So let's say reg equals sublime dot find by selector. Oh, do I have a unique scope on this? I don't, do I? Those are meta.anchor, and those are meta.anchor.hidden. Well, for the time being, let's say meta.anchor but not meta.anchor.hidden. And hidden ones are sublime.find by selector meta.anchor.hidden. And then, punctuations will be sublime.find by selector punctuation.anchor.hidden. Here's how we're going to test this. First, I better close and reopen that file so all those anchors go away. Okay, so this is the list theoretically of all of the regular anchors. Those are all of the hidden anchors. That's all of the punctuation. Now I can say, oh, what am I doing here? Self.view.find by selector. Wow, that would have been dumb. I need to refer to that. Oh, my console didn't scroll down. There we go. We want self dot. Oh, good gravy. I have the worst memory in the universe. All right, what did I type? No, this one. Self.view.add regions. Reg for reg. And let's say regular anchors will be outlined in, I don't know, what scope am I using to make them this color to begin with? Text dot string dot unquoted. So we'll just say those ones are strings with the flags of sublime dot draw no fill. Add regions hidden. We'll make those ones hid. Those ones, hidden ones will be red. And let's say that's enough for now. Save it as untitled. Okay. Interesting that this has the syntax, but it didn't get its first line match. Huh. What happens if I change this to 12 and save? All right. Well, that still works even if it's not syntax highlighted, so that's not the end of the world. I want view.run command example. You should see anchors light up in yellow, hidden ones in red, but only their content. Okay, that seems to be good. In order to test that other part, let's do that. Okay, that's definitely only finding those. That's definitely finding those, so we can put that back. And now we can say for pause in reversed pun self.view.erase. How does erase work? I don't normally do it this way. It takes the edit and the region. Now here's the theory. Anchors, when you use find by selector, you receive a list of tuples that are positions, but they're pre-calculated positions. So it knows that the first one of these is at a certain position in the file. If I ask for all the anchors, the first anchor is at this offset. But if more text is added here or removed, the positions of that location change because they're literal buffer offsets. But as we can see here, the actual regions themselves are anchored to the text, if you will. So that means that this, when I run this command, this file, let's go ahead and put that all the way back to the way it was when I started, should have all of the those things that way. These three should be outlined in red, but the punctuation should be gone, and the positions on all of them should be appropriately retained. So let's see how that works. And actually, if I do it this way, I don't even need to do that, but okay. So that is 100% what I want. That's great. I don't actually have to differentiate between hidden anchors and non-hidden anchors because that code is going to take them all away for me. That's boss. Okay. So that means, and again, I'm going to, whoops, no, close without saving. Reopen. That's just an easier way of getting the regions to disappear. Instead, going to say anchors are everything that is meta.anchor no matter what. We don't care about hidden ones. We do care about that, but we don't care about it enough to do that. So we're going to say, do I actually need that in a variable? Yeah, I do. Self.view.add regions. HH anchors. Using anchors with a scope that's empty. And flags is sublime.drawNoFill or sublime.drawNoOutline, I think is the other one. Did I get that right? Whoops. What did I say? Add regions says, oh, this window could be a little taller, I suppose. Draw no fill, draw no outline. Okay. Oh, actually, it's probably easier to just say hidden, isn't it? Derp. There we go. Oh, and sublime dot persistent. That's going to be important in a minute. So we don't need to find those. We did those. And for each position in, oh, whoops, I took one of those out that I didn't mean to. Hang on. This one. Well, maybe I'll leave it in there just for that, because that's a bummer. But we don't need to do that. So let's drop this down onto the next line, shall we? Okay, like so. So this command grabs all of the anchors, the text of the anchors, hidden or not, adds them to a not misspelled anchors setting, or actually it's a region, isn't it? For HH anchors, they are hidden so they don't appear in the buffer, and they are also persistent so that they persist in the session and come back when the Sublime restarts. Then we remove all of the hidden anchors. Just for test purposes, I'm going to print anchors, and I'm going to print this because I have a feeling this is going to be different, and this is going to be okay. And I'm going to run the command. Oh, yeah. I guess it would, wouldn't it? No, that's not what I meant to do. Dang. I meant to do self.view.getRegions. And the regions to get are HH anchors, like so. Okay, and again, just to ensure that everything is on a even keel. So the top one are the anchor positions that it started with. And the second ones, we can see the first one is the same, but the second one moved back by 2. And the other end of it moved back by 2 because that was a hidden anchor. Then the next one is moved back by 4 total because 4 things were removed. Then that, so, okay, that is doing what I would expect. This gets all of the, okay, gotta do this logically. Find all of the anchors and store them right away in a region to preserve where they are. Discard all of the hidden anchor punctuation because we don't care about it anymore. Then we would need to get the anchor regions back to iterate over them and rewrite them there. Well, actually, we don't care about rewriting at this point. We care about changing the settings object, don't we? So how did I envision this? Currently, it's a list of lists. The first item is the anchor, and the rest is a position. That is not what I want. Okay, well, let's just get rid of that for the time being. For, let's say, region IDX in enumerate self.use.get regions. Does that do what I want? I agree. Oh, okay. They come out in the other order, but otherwise. Oh, wait, do they? The first thing I printed was the region, but the first thing that came out was that. Yeah, they come out in a different order. So this should be this. And if I did that, just to verify, does it still? That's an index, that's a region. Okay, so we'll work on this part next. How close is this to actually fitting in here? Well, we'll worry about prettying it up later. Why does it feel like I should be able to do this with a comprehension? But let's make sure that it works first. And then print hhnav. Okay. That seems to work. Let's see. first I'd anchor. Oh, I should probably close that and restart it now that I can. The first anchor is anchor. Anchor 1 is the first one. Yes. This one should be approaches should be 1. It is. Diversity should be 2. It is. Survival should be 3. It is. Generation X should be 4. So that bit of magic right there, it replaces a whole bunch of this. So, well, that actually works. That comment would be wrong. And it's getting help underscore view is the same as length of self dot view. So that's all the magic of erasing them. This is one of those things, if you're unfamiliar with the concept of how I spent a lot of hours one night working out this incredibly complicated method of erasing the star slash or the star pipe pipe star around hidden anchors while still making sure that the locations of all of the text could be captured. And I just did it in those 6 lines there, which is a lot easier to follow. So I guess we still want that. We want to leave the cursor. Oh. Oh, that's right. Yeah, this was. Oh. I think I just remembered why I didn't do it that way. And the reason I didn't do it that way is because in order to do this, you need an edit object. There's no edit object here. There's not going to be an edit object here. So this needs to be a command. Well, as they say, nuts. But you do what you do. That means it. So let's see, class hyper. Oh, I named that command wrong. Oh, that's awful. Maybe it's not. People are expecting the commands to be that. Yeah. Well, we'll leave it. Hyperhelp capture anchors command. Let's call it that. Sublime plugin text command and run edit. Oops. Is enabled. Oh, do I already have one of those in here somewhere? I bet you I do. I don't even remember my own scope. Text.hyperhelp.help. Go back. Well, I guess that actually makes this a little nicer. This is actually very nicely decoupled. Yeah, okay, so that. So I think v equals self.view. So all the places where self.view exists. Just in those ones we can say v. And now, oh, that includes this one. I think that means I can do this. Fix that. Now this one's short enough. But I can put it in here. Boy, I did not do that very well at all, did I? V get regions. Now this could be probably optimized to use a comprehension. I'm not sure. I guess you probably could, huh? Let's see. First of all, that doesn't work. Oh, yeah, because I don't need that anymore. Okay. Add all of the anchors. Remove the hidden anchor punctuation. Do that. So I'm going to print HHNav, and then I'm going to print a list comprehension of what? Key. Oh, wait, what did I call it there? Oh, let's fix this first. I'm falling to the cardinal sin of optimizing things that don't necessarily need to be optimized. So let's just forget about doing it as a comprehension. This is short enough for now. We can get on with the business at hand. Set up that and then say v.settings.set underscore hhnav, and the value to store is hhnav, like so. That seems to save. This is going to bother me if I don't fix it. So search for underscore focus. Should look like that. Oops. I don't need that open anymore. I'm done with that. And here as well. Okay. Well, that was in the file I was already screwing with. So Hyperhelp capture anchors. Close that. That means here, instead of this whole call, it becomes that. That's actually interesting. It's only called and defined. So let's double check that what it was doing was finding the hidden regions, going over them, appending regions to the list of anchors, removing the marker, moving the cursor back to the start, find all of the regular anchors, create a navigation list by reversing the list of that was up there because we reversed it when we iterated it, and including the substring for that and the other ones, and then setting the setting. So this entire thing just goes away like so. It is done. Thus, and the other place that is used is here, where we say view.run command hyperhelp capture anchors instead of post process anchors and save. I'm going to quit and restart. Make that window always on top again. And open the console. Something's printing false. I have a plugin somewhere that's printing a Boolean. That smacks of me helping someone with a question in the channel. Or maybe I did it in my video recently. In any case, in I already copied that, right? Well, we'll leave it for a second. We'll go back to Snappy Index. Oh, well, actually view. So navigating a link still works. Oh, actually, it didn't. It said unable to find topic view and help file view.txt. Okay, that's a whole different thing. First, we changed the settings object. So, oh, missing one required positional argument. Oh, dang. Okay. Well, at least it's still read only, so that's something. Let's go back. In commands. I did this wrong. There we go. Now, when I follow this link, it's still unable to find help topic view because we haven't fixed navigation. And we haven't fixed that. But view.settings.get appears to be the dictionary that we would expect, and view.get regions is some anchors. So that at least worked. So we will delete this. We no longer need it. So that is the first thing on the list has been changed. The settings object has been changed to be, instead of a list of lists, it's now a dictionary. The next thing to do is fix tab navigation, which is, oh, and actually I think I verified tab and shift tab. The console is displaying errors because what it's trying to do with the settings no longer works. So I've successfully fixed the call point of these things over here or wherever it was that I did that, but the focus command is broken now. Oh, sorry, not the focus command, the nav command. This was another thing. Position is, if it's an int, I wanted to fix that too. I think there's a bug there, but well, actually 1-0 goes beginning end. So if all of the places that call focus, yeah, which is the thing that I'm about to screw with, so I might be able to tweak that up there as well. 1110. I think I'm double reversing it or something, but we'll worry about that in a minute. I think, yeah, history already works. I tried that. Let's do. We don't care about description. We care about follow link. Obviously works. It's just that it can't focus the anchor when it gets there, so we don't have to worry about that one at all. So it's just this one. Find the help view. Get the let's write it from the top down here. What did I call it? HH anchors? No, HH nav. We'll call this navdict is get the settings HH nav because that's what it looks like now. It's that thing. Oh, no, sorry. It's this thing here. That was HH nav. Oh, actually, no, we don't want that at all, do we? Still thinking, I'm not thinking third dimensionally. What was it called? Anchors is equal to help view dot get regions, and the regions to get is, what was it called? HH anchors. I usually keep notes for myself, but my desk is kind of full with streaming equipment at the moment. Underscore HH underscore anchors is the thing. And we'll come back down to there. Find the list of anchors. If there aren't any, leave. Find the point. Okay, pick. I don't need to do P10 because it used to be a list. The old setting was a list with 2 items, where the first one was the text and the second one was itself a list of begin/end as a region. So it needed to do P1 to be able to get not the text of the link, but the location of the link, which it now already has. But so it doesn't need that. And now normally it was doing 0 to get the first point, but now it's begin. So we can say P dot begin. Else this one is, wait, was that P1? Yeah, okay. So let's do that this way. And now, well, we'll fix this while we're there. Pos.begin. Oh, let's see, pos.a and pos.b. What the hell? But, oh, yeah, needs that too. Okay, and that's for if it finds it. This is the fallback. Fallback is already a region. So that's just fallback.a, fallback.b, I think. Okay, now. Wraps around. Wraps around. The cursor is still at the front, even though I'm passing in an A-B position here. I actually want to flip that around. I specifically want the selection area to be backwards, so I should be specifying it backwards here. And I'm going to reload, and now that is still working. It can wrap around, but the cursor's on the wrong end, but that's okay because the problem with that is this should be 0 and this should be 1. There. Because this command, even though it has the Hyperhelp prefix, should just be focusing the selection as you provide it and not taking the liberty of inverting it because that's what we want. The caller should do that because that's what the caller wants. So that is fixing this part. We can still nav through. That's the second item on my list, fix tab navigation. The third item is fix link following, which is currently broken because when you double click or when you press enter, I don't know, did you see that? You have to watch down in the status line. If I do it again, unable to find topic Sublime and help file sublime.txt. And the reason for that is, as I said at the beginning, when you press enter, it knows that this is on meta.link. It expands that scope, which is the whole word. It extracts it, It looks it up in the index. It finds it. It knows that it needs to open the file sheet.txt. And then after it opens the file, it tries to find the anchor named sheet. But that doesn't work because where the setting that it's using used to be a list where the first item was the anchor and it scanned through. Now it's not. So when I do it, unable to find topic sheet. So it can open the file, but it doesn't know where to go when it's in there. And that is in, oh my goodness, I know where that is, but we're going to, well, let's jump down. We want that in the clipboard before we go. And then we want show help topic. Okay, get the package. If there isn't one, leave. Look up the help topic. It's not an unknown help topic, so that wasn't a problem. If it was a URL, it would have opened it, but it wasn't. If it was a package file, just for edification, that's one of these. These are special links, so when I follow it, it opens the package file. It's not that, so it didn't do that. So it is doing this. It's getting the setting HHNav to find the anchors. Then it is iterating over all of the anchors to figure out the one whose topic is the first item. So it doesn't need to do that. It needs to get the setting, which gets it the dictionary. Well, let's just do this. Print anchors. Oh, well, let's do this. Anchors.get topic data. Topic none. So the console says it got 0 and then it got 1. So it's actually looking up index.txt. Oh, actually there was multiple things there, wasn't there? Here, I'll do it again while the console is open, but we'll see. When I follow it, oh, goodness gracious. There may be more calls to this than I expected. Go back one. There. It tried to find the topic sublime.txt, and it got the answer 0, which is right because it's the first link, but Sublime text, the 0 was not the text sublime.txt, so it didn't do anything. So we get the anchors. Well, let's say this. Anchors equals that, and then we can say index is equal to anchors.get, and I'm not sure if this is going to work just yet. Topic.data, topic, say -1. So if it's not found in the dictionary, it returns -1. And then we can say if idx is greater than or equal to 0, stuff. We don't need that. We do want, well, we want anchor pos is help view dot get regions. And once again, I have forgotten how that actually works. Oops. The list of regions that it is using is HH_anchors. And just for test purposes, IDX and that goes away. And then instead of this, we say anchor pos.a and anchor pos.b. That seems to load. Unable to find topic sheet. That did not do what I expected it to do. Did I reload this as much as I thought I did? Yes. Okay. Go back one. Found %s at %d. That sounds good. Mod, don't put it in quotes if it's a number, fool. Mod and found sheet.text at 0. Whoa, okay. Oh, I think I did something stupid there. No, unable to find topic sheet. It found, yeah, okay. So this one would work maybe? Yeah. Fudgety doodle doo. The incoming wait, I'm mildly confused. I'm going to do that and that because that mostly works. You'll see that it works when the link is lowercase, like that one and that one. And this one will work, but this one won't. Because the dictionary has, in the setting, has the text that is in the, oh, okay. This command is capturing the text and storing it verbatim in the dictionary, but the topic in the index is always case folded to be lowercase. So is that how you do that? I've already forgotten. Well, I guess case fold. Okay, and I go back one more. What happens if I follow a text input handler? There we go. Okay, that seems to have resolved that. So we are back to things working the way we expect. We can iterate through. in both directions. So we have fixed link following. Okay. So now let's figure out how to piecemeal this thing into our repository. What time do we got here? Oh, we got 49 minutes left. We may do something here. Merge. Let's see what we got. Well, can we fix this first, actually? Let's actually create a branch. Anchor extensions. That sounds nice. If we change that, then we have to selectively stage just the places where the call is made. Which I think is possible. Let's see. Stage this hunk because this renames the Hyperhelp focus command to have the appropriate thing. So we'll stage that hunk. That one stays alone. That one leaves alone. Hyperhelp focus to stage that line. Can I do multiple? I don't even know. Yeah, swank. So we'll stage both of those two. And we'll stage this one. Oh. Oh, man. Oh, that's going to wreck that whole bag. That is not easy to stage because it changed. It changed what it was doing. Okay, so let's not do that for right now. Let's focus in on it from the other direction instead. And that is, these commits are going to, I don't normally like to commit a commit unless the code will still work at that commit, but because I'm on a branch and I'm not expecting someone to check out the middle of a branch and expect things to work, or at least I wouldn't myself expect that to work, I think that's going to be okay here. So first we're going to stage Hyperhelp capture anchors as a hunk, and we will swap it and stage that in as a hunk, and we will stage that one. So now, whoops, I went too far. We're using a new command for Hyperhelp capture anchors, which means that's gone. And here's the command being added. So include new helper command to rewrite anchors. Now we post-process anchors. Let's say the new command does what the old one did, but in fewer lines of code. Oops. One side effect of this is that the structure the setting of the structure that's used to track the anchors in the file has been changed from being, man, a list of lists to, is that what that worked there? No. Being a dictionary. And commit that now. Oh, that would explain why that stuff stopped working, huh? I had too many. I hit too many. Okay, let's discard this hunk. Do I still have that help file open? Hey, look, the header works now. Okay, that's good. I kind of was curious about that. Oh, did that? This is required for that, isn't it? Fudge doodle. Okay, let's stage that. Amend that commit, and well. In order to make this possible, the syntax also has been iteration on hidden links. More. Oh. Okay. That's better. Now, stuff here that fixes the focus command and the navigation command and that, right? That's distinct from the second file in core. Oh wait, no, yeah, this is the one in show help topics. So here we can commit this one, and this is the one that fixes anchor navigation. So we'll stage, because that adds the new command and swaps those orders of things to work the way we want. And all of the navigation places use the new one and also do that. Oh, and actually, let's tweak that a little bit. Was that here in commands? Yes, it was. What's changed now? I don't believe that those are the only lines. Oh, I guess those are the only lines that changed. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm thinking of something completely different. There it is. Here we don't have to say p.begin because p is coming from the list of anchors that came from the regions, and the regions are always left to right. So this is actually, those can both be A. I'm going to reload. We're going to do that so it still goes forwards and backwards wrapping, and for safety's sake I'm going to do that, and it loaded okay, and there we go. That just makes that line be a lot shorter. So we can jump back to here and say that that's the focus command. We'll mention that as a change so that we didn't have to, yeah, and that. So let's stage that file. And the one thing that's still here, it's using the wrong command, but that's okay because I want to modify that code a little bit as well. So we can say fix anchor navigation to use the new setting. This tweaks up, whoops, the command that follows that. Anchors to use the new regions and setting that were implemented when we moved the link. Oh, I was going to say anchor post-processing to their own command. And the last change is the change in core for show help topic. And let's go look at that one more time. We know it works. Found as false. And I want to change this to anchor dict so we know what it is. And get it the index from there. So if the index wasn't found, that should return -1. So this only happens. My real issue is this. Should I be in any way concerned that there's some way for the setting that I'm setting to get out of sync with the regions that I also am setting? Because it's possible that that anchor position doesn't exist. I could try to catch that and not set found to true, but the reality of the situation is even if I did that, if I'm that mistrustful, how do I know that even if the index falls in range that it actually works? So that's nothing to worry about. We'll just leave that as it is, except for that change. Actually, did I name that here? I didn't use the setting here. That's right, I didn't need the setting. So I'm going to say that's good for now. And we'll say fix to use the new. What did I even set that message to? To use the new setting. This completes the work. That oh, sorry. This completes the work to make all of the topic work with the new combination of settings and regions. Yeah, there we go. Oops. Whoa, whoa. Oh, did I not actually? Oh, I didn't actually stage it. Whoops. There we go. And so, with an hour and a half of coding down, I have the anchor system reset back to the way it used to work, but now the setting that it uses is different. And that's important because now we can actually implement what I wanted to do, which is change the body of anchors so they can specify text differently. And that's going to happen here. And for something like this, I usually like to keep that. Yeah, we'll keep that open actually. But I'm going to browse the available help to user test help file, because I can always reload that file when things change. Does that still look the way it's supposed to? Yeah. And I can navigate. Perfect. Okay, so let's say new save as test.py and overwrite. And the theory is that the new syntax is going to be, well, actually, I'll go ahead and write it right in here. This, oh, let's do it this way. We'll have to view the settings for this to be able to see that it's working. So I can say anchor, I can say :anchor, should still work. And I can say ID : anchor, like so. So here's the idea. We are going to say that the body of an anchor as it appears in the file, and this should actually, just for our purposes, we'll do this. Oh crap, that's not going to work. We'll make these ones, whoops, hidden, so that we have two different varieties. And just to verify, when I reload the file, we see what we expect to see. So I can just leave it there now, and we'll go. This is the current style where the text inside is just the anchor. This is going to be the new style where you're going to provide a unique ID value of some sort, followed by a colon, followed by the anchor. And this will be rewritten so that this text is the text that appears in the file, and this is what gets applied in the setting. So where this is using substir casefold and setting it into hhnav, instead of using anchor in this case, it would use ID in this case instead. So the upshot of this is all 6 of these should appear in the file as the word anchor, but this one and this one should be added to the setting, to the thing with ID. And you know what? Let's go ahead and remove those because it'll be easier to check things. There we go. Reload that. So this one should be anchor, this one should be anchor, this one should be anchor. All of them should be anchor, but that one and that one, the third and the sixth, should show up in the settings dictionary as ID instead of the text anchor. Now this, it's not going to quite work for us here because all of them have the text anchor and it's a dictionary, but that's okay. The idea is to make sure that works. So this is the default. This is how it works currently, and I want all existing help files to work. This is just a shorthand for doing the exact same thing if you wanted to, but you don't have to. And this is going to be the new format. And FYI, I chose : because as we can see here, one of the uses of an anchor is the name of the file that the help is contained in so that it can appear in this header. And you can always go to a specific help file as a topic by using it by name. There's also an unwritten rule that every help package should have an index.txt text file so that you can also navigate just to the help of a package and see file. And that's why when I say browse available help and choose Sublime API, well, in this case, I did it slightly different, but that's why it pops to index.txt. So colons aren't allowed in file names on Windows, so that seems like a good thing to do here. So we're going to write something that allows us to parse anchors in this fashion and then use it here so that we pull the data out Now that's actually going to require us to do a little more work in the rewriting, but the theory is since the anchors are in regions, things are going to go a lot easier for us there. That's the theory anyway. We'll find out what happens. So the first thing to do is say parse anchor body. And let's say we print, let's do this. Def test anchor. Oh. Topic %s and text %s and mod AID, AID and a text. Okay. And then we can say test anchor :anchor and ID :anchor and none. Okay. If in anchor body, well, let's say not in. Well, we'll see what we do. If that's not in, then return anchor body. This handles the case where there's not any colon at all. So, I guess I probably should have done that like this. %s, like so. And then this one needs to be, so we can actually see anchor is the topic anchor and the text anchor. :anchor is done in none and ID anchor is done in none. Okay, so maybe it's better to do it the other way. Okay. ID val equals anchor body, let's say. And this is going to be ID val, and this is going to be anchor body. So if there is a colon in anchor body, then we're going to do something different. We'll just pass for now. So that more or less does what we would expect. Now, x equals bit. X the number and then the colon gives you the text after from that point on. How do you find the index of something? X dot index of B. Nope. This is one of those things I constantly have to look up because I can never remember. Python index of character in string. This is I have actually looked this up so many times. I don't have to do this very often. Oh, just index. Find returns -1 and index raises a value error. So I actually want find B. There we go. Find B is 0. Find Z is -1. So actually I can modify this to cpos is equal to anchor body dot find :. If cpos is greater than or equal to 0, then we're going to do something here. And what are we going to do? we're going to say ID val is equal to, this is the part that I'm going to get wrong, colon cpos. Yeah. And anchor body is equal to anchor body cpos. Whoa! Pos colon. What does that do? Oh, it gets mad because I don't know how to type. Anchor is anchor anchor. Colon anchor is nothing and the text colon anchor. And ID anchor is the topic ID and the text anchor colon. So this is actually supposed to be what, +1? Anchor is anchor anchor. Colon anchor is empty and the text anchor. And ID anchor is ID and the text anchor. So if I did that, then I can say ID val is equal to ID val or anchor body, and then I don't have to do it here. What does that do? Referenced before assignment, you say? What? Oh, right. All right, I guess I do need to do that. Maybe I could use an else for that. So now anchor is anchor, colon anchor is still anchor anchor, and ID colon anchor. Now, just for the sake of argument, I'm going to do that. Spaces such as they are aren't allowed in anchors, but maybe you might accidentally put one. No, we don't have to do that because it's impossible to do that because the syntax won't detect it as an anchor and thus nothing will happen. So I don't have to worry about that. So that is 100% what we want. Is there a way to make this nicer? I don't really see. I mean, I could say this else ID val equals anchor body and then do that. Well, let's how about this? And ID val is equal to anchor body cpos or anchor body. And I don't have to do it here. Okay, anchor, anchor, colon, anchor, anchor. Wait. Did I just break it? The topic's not supposed to be colon anchor. Has it been doing that the whole time? What does this do? Make it mad? Yeah, that's what I thought. Dang it. Why did I not notice that? So the first one, that's a no-brainer. That's just going to always work. So got to do them in this order. There we go. Anchor body first, then the ID value, because you want the ID value if the part before it ends up being stripped away. No, you can't do that either. Okay, so that does not work. You gotta do that in the opposite order. So put that down there. Well, maybe I put it in there because it's not going to make any sense there. Eh. I am so totally confounded right now. This should have been easy. The default ID value is the entire body of the anchor. If there is a colon and its position is greater than or equal to 0, then the value of the ID, oh, because that one's still on there. That's why. There. Anchor becomes anchor and anchor. Colon anchor still becomes anchor and ID. So that should still work like that. Anchor, anchor, ID, anchor. Okay. So that is doing, let's say, what we want. Default anchor value is that. Well, you know what? Let's just make it look nice-ish. Find the colon position. If it's greater than or equal to 0, then the ID is the body of the anchor after or prior to the colon, and the body is everything after the colon, but not including it. And then if that ends us up with an empty ID, use the anchor body as a fallback. That may not be strictly necessary, but it's going to tie in with stuff that I'm doing in the links next time around. Otherwise, the ID value is the same as the anchor body, and then return them as a tuple. That works. So that's going to be, is there a, not a resource, it's not help, it's not valedictory. What's in help.py? Is this, yeah, that one's not meant to go. Core is what's meant to go. That's this one. Let's change this to parse anchor. Body. Make sure it still works after I renamed it. Okay, and load help file. Where would be a good place to put it in here? Am I going to get myself in problems here? No, core and commands are two different things. Commands definitely imports from core, and core doesn't import from commands because why would it? It's using the commands. Okay, so that's good. This can be in the core. I'm not going to end myself up in that same stupid problem I had last time. And we will copy that, throw it in over here, and given the body of an anchor, parse it into its ID component and its now given the body of an anchor, parse it to determine what topic ID it's anchored to and what text anchor uses. Based on the anchor body in the file, that the topic ID and the text are identical. Okay. And my Sublime window got rolled up by me. That seems to be working. So let's see if we can figure this out in the next 15 minutes. Maybe this stream will go a little bit long like last time and I can get this whole thing done in one night. That'd be cool. Okay. That it's not focused, it's here. So we are finding all of the anchor regions and all of the anchors and adding them as hidden persistent regions. The persistent part is important to make sure if there's a help file open when you quit Sublime and restart that the regions are still there so that you can still navigate. Then it throws away anchor hidden punctuation, which makes the hidden anchors nice. This is the part where we enumerate the regions and add them to the dictionary. Now we actually have to do two things here. The position of the regions in the file isn't going to change. Only the theoretical text is going to change. So I should be able to say anchor body is equal to v.subster region.casefold, like so. Oh, wait. Topic and text are that. And before I forget, from core import parse anchor body. Okay. And so that's going to be topic and text. Here, the key in the dictionary is the topic, and we are going to say v.replace if we could type. And oh no. That's unfortunate. I broke my help system while I still need my help system. I'm going to have to fall back to the browser for this one. I did not think that one through. Replace. The first argument is the edit. The second argument is the region. And the third argument is the replacement text, which is text. Save. Let's go ahead and, well, yeah, we'll keep that. We don't need to keep that, do we? Well, we don't know that it works, so let's not. Let's reload this help file. Reloaded help file, text.txt. Look, it says anchor, anchor, I anchor. Oh, boy, that did not work. How about that? Anchor, 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 anchor. And if I said view.settings.get hhnav, ID is 3, anchor is 5, test.text is 6. That, oh, Nike. Okay, well, this is going to take a bit of action here. And regions is that, which is this. I'm just spitballing here. I don't know if this is actually going to solve the problem. And idx minus len regions. How about now? Okay. -4, -2, -1. No, regions minus, did I do it in the wrong order? I did it in the wrong order. ID, so the first thing is test.text, but it's 1. The second one is anchor. Okay, if they were numbered by 1, 1, 2, oh, I can't remember what the source file looked like. It should be 0, 1, 2. It should be 0, 3, 4, 5, 6. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It should be, yeah, okay. It's the last in each of those groups. So if that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, but they're upside. Oh, haha. By doing it reversed, I've actually dingled it around. Huh. Here, we'll do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Test.text is 1, anchor 1 is 2, anchor 2 is 3, ID is 4, anchor 5 is 5, anchor 6 is 6. Because they're reversed, it finds this one, but then it finds this one. That actually makes more logical sense to me that it would use the first one and not the last one. I'm kind of disturbed at how I had to reverse that list. But let's see. The indexes are 0 based. But the length is not 0 based, so that needs another -1. For that reason, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they're all numbered correctly, but not based on their actual numbers. 1 is still 1, 2 is still 2. ID is now 3. Anchor 4 is still 4. Anchor 5 is anchor 5. Anchor 6 doesn't appear because it doesn't have a unique ID, but that's okay because the linter knows how to solve that problem. So this is hopeful that it did what I want. ID 1, ID 2. That's going to be nothing. This is going to be ID 3. And this one will be ID 4. So I did the first and, oh, sorry. ID 1, ID 2. That one's going to be the first one and third one, and this one's just going to be in the middle. So 1, 2, ID 3. And those ones can go back to being that for the time being. And anchor 1 approaches. Oh, that did not work. Did I just type it wrong? Oh, thank God for that. So it's still finding, here, if I do this, we'll see the file, and that we'll close that for the time being and make that big again. And let's just close that. I can always reopen it. Anchor 1, the word approaches. Diversity with the ID 2 stripped off. The word survival. The word generation. And touch points. And text.text is 0. ID 1 is 1. ID 2 is 3. ID 3 approaches, touch points, survival. I think that is doing what we want, actually. That's actually a lot simpler than I thought it was going to be when I started. Just for the sake of interest here, when I do this, let's temporarily throw that part out. Oh, I didn't give it a and that. Now we can definitely see that all anchors look like that. That's going to be a temporary thing. Now we're going to browse available help over to the API, go to the index. What's a units and coordinates threading? Okay, no, that's not a good example. Text input handler class. Here's an example of the reason why I wanted to be able to. Oh, there's a problem. Okay. We can fix this. Where did I case fold this stupid thing? Not there. I did it here. Don't do that. Oh, actually, here. Okay, and now that one doesn't need any case folding at all. Reload. That still loads. There we go. Now it looks like we want. The whole point of this operation, besides the fact that I want to be able to target anchors and have the text be different, well, the ultimate plan is to also be able to make links not linked to different text and also to links in other packages, which require us to be able to have these sorts of unique IDs. But also for things like this, I really want, when you navigate here, for text input handler class to be the text that's highlighted, even though it's not the whole anchor. And I'm going to just edit this help file. Which one am I in? Text input handler. I think if I cut that and put it there, and then I gotta fix that. Now, when I reload this help file, that date changed to be today because of the magic of my little plugin. You can see that line changed too. Now, when I navigate, that whole line becomes the section, which is really what I want. But at the same time, if I was to again, well, actually, can I go back one more and go to follow the text input handler class link? Unable to find topic text input handler in help file. What did I do? I thought I just fixed this a second ago. The link, it's the second link. It's the one with ID 1. Oh, right, because I didn't do it right. It needs to have, and just to extra test it, we'll do this. Text input handler colon text input handler class. Okay. Now, when I reload it, it still looks the same. It still highlights that whole thing, but when I follow the link to text input handler class, it highlights the whole thing. Now, of course, for some reason, the cursor is at the end and not at the beginning, probably because I forgot something in that last commit. And when I fixed this. No, this is passing A and B. I should have passed B and A there in core.py, and I haven't committed anything yet. So let's very quickly jump to core.py in the navigate show help topic and swap. I can't believe I didn't notice that before. B and A there, and save and reload. So that's reversed. Oh, there's my 2-hour timer. We are getting close to actually having this done. So we're almost done here. I'm going to go back. I'm going to follow this, and the cursor is at the correct location. That's perfect. So I'm going to go into unstaged files in core.py and stage just those lines and verify that the staged files is that line and amend the previous commit. And now let's just double check. It's returning a case folded topic regardless of what appears, which is what we want, and the anchor body. And this part in this command, well, we need to remove some stuff because we don't want that to happen. But that is more or less what we want there in commands. We want that to be empty again. Well, actually, I guess if we really wanted to, we could just do this, couldn't we? So they're hidden and persistent, and the only difference is we parse them, we replace them, and we do that. So if I reload that, things look better. There's a lot of work on my end. There's a lot of things that need to work for this. You know what? Just as an aside here, I don't know if I have the appropriate file open because we are almost done. That is almost all of the items that I had on my list. The only other item I had on the list was to enhance the syntax to add a punctuation scope to that colon if it exists so that it could appear as a darker color, or the topic that appears before it could be different. And that's not as important at this point as getting the feature to work in general, because the syntax needs a lot of work anyway. But let's see, that's the snappy API help. I need the index for same. Would have been a lot faster if I not only knew the alphabet but used the command palette. Or sorry, go to anything. There we go. And list input handler dot text. Now, here's the topic named list input handler with a caption of Sublime plugin list input handler class, which is what makes, well, that's not going to work there, is it? It's going to work here. Sublime plugin text input handler class links to that. Now I'm going to say this. This is just a test on my part because I just thought of something. I'm going to include that as an alias. And I'm going to set the topic to be that. And if I reload that help, talk for Sublime API is missing topic. Oh, in the table of contents. Okay, that is neither here nor there. And then I reload the help file. Now list. Did I do the wrong one? I'm doing text input handler here, aren't I? Okay, don't do that. Good gravy. Text input handler. There we go. Okay, let's try all of that again. Whoops. We're going to copy that. We're going to name it class T. And we're going to say correctly this is aliases, and one of the aliases is text input handler. To talk for Sublime API is missing text input handler, skipping. That's okay. That's actually That's a separate bug. You can see that in the console there when I reload. That's because currently there's a bug where aliases are case sensitive when they're not supposed to be. Okay, now I reload that. The link still appears not broken. It still goes to text input handler. That's what it thinks it is, and I can actually go there because of that. But when it gets here, it's unable to find the topic text input handler in the help file because it has that new ID. Okay, so that's going to work. That's going to require our new list syntax to be able to specify the ID, but that is the result that I expected. I think. Did I spell it wrong? No. Oh, wait, that should have worked, shouldn't it? There may be some extra byplay with aliases here. Huh. Because that's the topic, but this is an alias for the topic. So trying to go to this topic. Oh, that's right, because aliases are, let's try it this way. Aliases are case sensitive. So we have to make the table of contents unhappy. So that when we follow the link, oh, now it's busted real good. That's going to require fixing the aliases to be able to fix. I don't know how easy that actually is to do. Or for that matter, why it's even doing that. Certainly looks like it's case folding it. Where's the other aliases? That's not the alias handling. That's not the alias handling. Oh, is it topic entry in topic list? Aliases go like so. New name. Oh, it's missing right here. I think. Okay, so this is, if I made this lowercase, does it still work? Yeah, okay, so that's okay. This is reloaded. Unable to find topic text input handler in help file. But why not? It should be the one with number 2. No, it's not. It should be the one with number 1. Yeah. Text input handler. There may be more to it than that. Where was the other place aliases was used in here? Talk metadata, no. Look up topic entry. No, that's a whole different thing. That's in the table of contents index. Well, I don't know that I want to screw around with that just at the moment. I know that there are currently issues with that. So let's jump back over here and say Let's discard that hunk for now because that needs more investigation on my part. And the stream is almost over for this evening. And I think I should revert that. Actually, I should probably do that over here. Hang on. Oops. Snappy. Okay, let's discard everything. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I want to do that. Thanks for warning me, though. Okay, so if we come back to here, I need to reload that index, and I need to reload that help file. Put that back the way it's supposed to be, and that goes back to working. That undoes that change I did. That makes it be the whole thing. But that is okay. That was the point. And that's 2 lines. All right, so we're going to stage that. That's our method for our function for helper. And incidentally, I don't think I said, or maybe I did, I put this in the core because the core.py file is the file that contains the API that's exposed to people that want to use the help system and people using help. For example, the linter that lints things, which also needs to be fixed because now it's not going to be able to lint topics properly. It's going to try to look them up by colons, but that's an idea for another day. I definitely don't want to screw around with the linter right now. But that's why that's there, so that the linter can do that and other code can do it. And here we are rewriting them based on that and importing that. So I think we can stage all of this file. And I think we can stage that file, and we can say implement. What did we implement? Implement finalize initial implementation of new anchors. By including the ability to different than the topic ID that it's associated with. With this in place, we can now okay, and we'll check out master and let us merge this no ff. There we go. There's our nice little set of changes for this live stream, and we can quit that and jump over here. And with that, the stream has come to an end. If you've gotten this far watching the archive, I'd like to thank you for joining me for another one. I shall be doing another 2-hour live stream same time next week, unless real life intrudes, where I'll be the current plan is to do the same sort of thing that we just did here, but with the link aspect instead of the anchor aspect, so that we can create links to other packages or to other IDs or to other IDs and other packages while changing the text simultaneously. And that's going to kick it up a notch. We're going to be able to do a lot more stuff with the help system. With that in place, we can link to Hyperhelp help if we or the Hyperhelp system help from our own documentation if we want, so that our help can have a how to use page that links as appropriate to another package. We'll be able to include the theme help. Everything's just going to get a lot cooler. So that's what the plan is. I That could change because there's an entire possibility that maybe I'll actually get some time to actually work on something throughout the week, and then maybe I'll get that done and something else will go on. But that is the plan for right now. What is sure is that it's going to be a stream on Sunday at 8 p.m. Pacific for the 2 hour minimum, which we pretty much hit today. This currently at 2 hours and 20 minutes, which is not that bad considering that I tend to yammer on. So I hope you enjoyed this. Remember to thumbs up the video if you like the archive and like to see me live stream things like this. If you have any questions about anything that I did here and how it worked or why I did it that way, that I didn't accidentally mumble to myself while I was streaming, go ahead and leave a message down in the comments section below. Do you have something that you'd like to have me talk about in a live stream? Go ahead and leave that in a comment section down below. And of course, you are always welcome to join in the chat in the live stream while it's happening if you want, and go ahead and ask questions there and I will see if I can answer them. So thanks for watching the video. Remember, you can subscribe to the channel if you want to be notified when the next live stream happens. You can subscribe to my OdatNurd channel if you just want to see other videos that I'm creating, and I will see you next time. So have a sublime day.